Who is Mike?
Mike is a Ghanaian-based young entrepreneur who is trying to find his way into the Ghanaian economy. I have a master's degree in brands and communications, and I'm also a chef by profession.
So, what's your educational background like? Where did you study?
Okay, so I did my first degree at UPSA in accounting and finance.
Okay.
Right? And then after that, I took some online courses, the University of the Internet, right? So I took some online courses in branding and graphic designing. And then right after, I decided to do my master's in branding and communications because that was a space that I was in at the time. I was working in a creative agency, so I wanted to really build my, creative acumen and kind of sort of, build some competitive advantage too for myself because I was a graphic designer in my company and I wanted to be a creative director. So I had to pursue, further education so that I can achieve that aim. But along the line, I dropped that vision. Well, because I felt that I wanted to be my own boss. I wanted to call my own shots. I wanted to drive my future in a direction that personally I wanted it to go, right? I didn't want to really do the 9 to 5, on a daily basis. I wanted to also create an opportunities for others because, we are living in an environment where the employment deficit is really high, skyrocketing every day, right? If everybody wants to be a worker, who's going to employ who? So we need people to create jobs for other people to also be employed, right? So I wanted to join the queue of people who are creating businesses, creating jobs, creating opportunities. Yeah.
Where did you do your national service?
So I did my national service in an event, one of the biggest event planning companies in Ghana, right inside East Legon. It's called the Red Carpet Events. If you are around East Legon, we're not sponsored by Red Carpet Events, but Red Carpet Events is the biggest, events house in Ghana. If you want to do any event, wedding or anything. So I did my national service there. I was the personal assistant to the CEO. So I was basically the CEO.
It makes a lot of sense. Why now you are running your own business?
Yeah. I think I learned a lot from there as well because event planning, project management, creative directing, staging, set directing, like all of that were part of my role, and I had to learn it on the job because I didn't have any prior knowledge. I was coming from an accounting background, so I just from accounting straight to events. But what helped me was the fact that I also had that creative background, from teaching myself how to, use Photoshop and Illustrator and all of that. Yeah, so I had like a competitive edge. I could think figures, I could think colors, I could think, in all of that, spaces. So it really helped me grow faster in the space.
So after national service, did you immediately begin with Spicy Your Visa?
No, so after national service, that was where I joined the creative agency.
Okay.
The ad agency, right? It's called Center Stage. You guys can check it out. Center Stage. Also one of the biggest boutique agencies in Ghana when it comes to creative agencies, right? So I had the opportunity to work there for 2 years while I was a graphic designer. So as a graphic designer, what do? You just receive the brief and then you do your creative analysis, you debrief, and then you get the creatives going. You jump on Photoshop, Illustrator, Premiere Pro, After Effects, and then you do what the client wants, right? So at some point I felt like sitting behind my desk got boring. Yeah,
But you have a desk here.
yes. But I felt like the impact I wanted to create, I wasn't creating it. Okay, even though I was creating it for our clients, the impact that I wanted to create it for my name. You get it? And there's a saying that if you don't build your dream, you help other people build your dream, right? So I wanted to build my own dream. So that was why I had to leave the job market and then come onto the streets.
So Mike, you are the CEO of Spicy Girl Pizza.
Right.
I remember when I went home and I told my dad that I had come to a place that was being run by a gentleman called Spicy Girl Pizza. He was like, Spicy Girl, a guy running a joint called Spicy Girl. What's going on?
Yeah.
So what actually motivated you to start this business, your own business, and why the name Spicy Girl?
So during the lockdown, right, that was around 2019, the latter part of 2019, getting into 2020, right. There was this whole work from home saga, right? Everybody was working from home, right? And at some point I was still working in an ad agency, so I was made to work from home. Working from home got boring. Like sometimes when you're done with what your tasks for the day, you either spend time watching YouTube videos, or you either spend time doing nothing, watching TikToks, or being on Instagram, flipping through and all of that. So I was like, okay, what can I do to keep myself busy? Because I had 24 hours and I was at home and I didn't want to get bored. Like when I get bored, I get demotivated. So I wanted to keep me running, like to get myself engaged so that I'll get more creative, So I hopped on YouTube looking for some side hustles to start, right? And then before I watched that video, I saw an ad, and the ad was kind of playing one of Ghana's pizza companies' ad on YouTube, and I was like, okay, this is not bad. Let me try it. So I went online, googled how to bake a homemade pizza, and then I got the idea. Like my light bulbs just went off, and I was like, okay, cool. So I went to the nearest supermarket, got all the ingredients, came home, watched the videos, decided to bake it myself. I have that video, I'll show it to you. I decided to film myself as well. So the first pizza was bad. Like it was crazy. Like it got bent and everything because I didn't know what I was doing, right? So that didn't stop me. That's one thing about entrepreneurship. You try a lot of times before you get it right. Some people try the first time, they get it wrong and they stop. But
most people.
So what you have to do is just keep going. What I did was I kept going. I kept baking. My second one was whack. The third one was whack. The fourth one didn't taste good. The fifth one was salty. The sixth one didn't have a lot of yeast in it, so the dough didn't rise. Like it was crazy, And I was like, okay, so I have to keep trying. So I kept going on and on and on and on and on until this Sunday it rained. So I was like, okay, let me just bake a pizza and let my neighbors try it. So I did the whole process again, baked it. It was looking good, looking delicious. It was looking delicious, but was it tasting delicious? That was the question I was asking myself. So I was like, okay, then let me get people to try it. Went to my next door neighbor, and then she tried it and she was like, wow, this is nice. Did you make this? And I was like, yeah, I made this. And she was like, wow, this is nice. And I was like, really? That was where I grew wings. I saw 24/7. Like I was very happy, right? So I was like, okay, I've been able to do something, because I never dreamt that I'll be baking pizza, and it worked. So I was like, okay, then if my neighbor, 3 days go by, right? She was asking me, have you made pizza? And I was like, no. Have you made pizza? So she kept on asking me. So I was like, okay, then if at least I have the demand, then I can push the supply. So I just decided to just, every day I was baking pizza, and I was giving it out for free.
Wow.
Every day. So my neighbors have kids, right? So every day I was using the kids. Uncle Mike, do you have pizza? Yes, I have pizza. Come and try it. Then I'll give them. Until I designed my first pizza box. And I was like, okay, cool. If this is the case, then let's get it on Instagram. Created my Instagram account, and then that was where it started, basically.
Okay. And what inspired the name Spicy Girl?
Okay, so the name Spicy Girl came from a point where in the pizza industry, right, it's male dominated. If you've noticed, the pizza industry in Ghana, before I made it a business, I did some research. realized that the pizza industry in Ghana, it's male dominated. You know, I don't want to mention names so that I can give them credit here, but it's male dominated, right?
Okay.
They are masculine, right?
Yeah.
So I wanted to create something that was feminine, that would differentiate itself from the rest, that would keep people asking me questions.
Okay. Like I'm asking right
Yes,
now.
and I guess I'm achieving that aim because
Yeah, you
I
are.
feel people keep asking questions.
Yes. Okay, so obviously you had no prior experience before baking pizza. What was the learning curve like? You made the first one, it was bad.
Yeah.
The second one, third one. How did you finally master the skill? What resources did you use? Did you go to YouTube? Like, what exactly did you do?
I think that after that first video, right? I wanted to invent my own pizza. Like, I wanted to learn how to make it, but in the process I wanted to invent my own pizza
Okay.
that
That's interesting.
would stand out from, because I didn't want to look like everyone else, right? So if I was going to do this, I had to go all out. I had to put my last penny on it, because you don't go halfway and think that you're going to win. You have to go all out. Yeah, so I decided to go all out. Well, I learned a few tricks on the internet from YouTube,
Okay.
and also from other international pizza companies, right?
Okay.
But what I did was I wanted to reinvent the wheel, go back to where pizza originated from, right? And then discover do a gap analysis, discover where the industry is now and where it can be in the future, right? And place myself in a profitable position where people would really appreciate what I'm doing. So if you taste my pizza and we can do a blind tasting, right?
Okay.
And then you know that my pizza is different. It tastes different, looks different, feels different, and it goes down different, because there's a misconception about pizza that is bread and stew. Because of how poorly some people have marketed it,
Yeah.
and how poorly some companies have really sold it to people, right?
Yeah.
So we want to bring a whole new sensation into the pizza market, where once you taste it, it's nothing you have ever tasted anywhere. If you bring a pizza fanatic here and they taste our pizza, they will have a different purview of what a pizza tastes like. You
Yeah.
get it? Yeah. And I think that is what is novel in Spicy Girl Pizza, because we have decided to not be like anyone else. We have decided to stick to quality. We've decided to stick to customer satisfaction. We've decided to stick to paying attention to every single customer, treating customers individually, right? So we've moved from that point where we are mass producing. Now we are mass customizing. You get it? So every single customer is different, and every single pizza can be different.
Wow.
Yes. My learning curve was great, because it was my first time. I was curious. Like, I'm one curious dude. Like, it was so curious, like a curious process for me. I was curious enough to, learn about 12 different kinds of pizzas, 12 different kinds of toppings, so that I'll be able to know how to mix, match, and create a masterpiece.
So you mentioned earlier that you quit your job to do this, and we know that there are a lot of young people out there looking for jobs to do,
Right.
but they can't find them. So when they hear things like someone gainfully employed quitting to take this kind of risk, they're like, what the hell is going wrong with the person? What was the experience like for you? Were you afraid? What motivated you? Like, what was that experience?
I think for me, it was the scariest thing, because I had a stable, income. Like, it was good, for my career, like from my qualification and where I am in the career. It was good, like you said, I was gainfully employed. But most entrepreneurs had to quit their jobs. You see, you have to sacrifice something. That is one thing that young people don't understand. You have to sacrifice something to gain something. the saying that no pain, no gain is sometimes misconstrued, because the pain here is not bodily pain. Okay, it is sacrificial. It is an emotional transition. Okay, it is the point where you feel like, okay, I'm okay, but I still want more. Okay, I still want more, and that is the mentality that a lot of young people need, because sometimes your job is only leaving you just over broke. If you leave that job and you pursue other careers like entrepreneurship, right, you realize that you were just massaging your reality, like
you were not
challenging yourself enough, you know. And I won't tell you to quit your job, right? I'll tell you to analyze yourself, build a side hustle until your side hustle can pay twice your salary before you can quit your job, because it's a risky move. Well, I was lucky because I was a freelancer before getting a job, and then I had the entrepreneurial spirit, so I could put one and two together, and then I could build a business. You know, before leaving the university, I had built my own graphic design empire, like graphic design. You know, I was the go-to guy on campus if you want to anything graphic design. You know, so I had really built myself on the street. You know. And I also knew how to gather data. If you know how to gather data as an entrepreneur, it's a key marketing tool for success. You know, how to build relationships. If you analyze yourself and you know that, okay, I don't have these skills, learn them before you quit your job, because it is some of the skills that you need to succeed in the world of entrepreneurship. You can have a talent, you can have a skill, but if you don't have marketable skills, nobody is buying them. So how do you market your skill?
How did you conquer your fear? You said you were free.
Yeah.
How did you eventually conquer it?
I think that I developed passion. So I replaced the fear with passion. I wasn't thinking of how I was going to make money. I was thinking of how I was going to make my dreams work. So it shifted my mind from surviving, or it took my mind off survival, and then I had to transition into growth. I wasn't thinking surviving, I was thinking, how am I growing? So regardless of whether I was making money or not, I was thinking about how the business was growing, and how I was building my skills, and how I was developing myself personally and developing the people around me, because you need people around you to make your dream work. You know, so yeah, I had to just replace the fear with passion, and then I was able to conquer it.
When you started this whole venture, did you receive any support from your family?
I think I received emotional support and family support, but in terms of the finances, at this point I didn't really want to involve family, because it has its bad sides and good sides, you know. So up until now, I've not received any financial assistance from family or friends, or but I hope that once we hit the IPO, we'll have a lot of yes, a lot of people support us in prayers and support us in well wishes, you know.
Okay.
Some people also recommend our product to others. So yeah, in terms of support we have, but financial assistance we haven't.
How much do you turn over in a month?
In a month?
Yeah, how much?
Am I supposed to say that? Am I supposed to say that on camera? Okay,
I know that in Ghana we are afraid of, you know, talking about our finances, because it's either the witches in the village,
I know, right?
troublesome family members who start knocking at your door, or
I think that if I'm supposed to put a figure to it, our monthly turnover is between 40 to 50k.
40 to 50k.
Yeah.
Okay, so in a year that will be how much?
I don't know. I don't know.
Okay, let me check the calculator. I'm using 50k.
50k, right?
Times 12. So that's 600,000 cedis.
Yeah. If you put it like that, yeah. Well, it's the business is growing exponentially.
Okay.
So when it comes to every month, we are seeing growth. So yeah, if we are projecting, I think that we'll be close to a million a year.
Close to $1 million a year.
Yeah, project now.
Wow.
Yeah.
A 27-year-old making close to $1 million a year.
Yes.
And how do you feel about making so much money? Selling pizza.
Well, I think that the business is making money. Well, I won't say that making money. I think the business is seeing growth, right?
Okay.
So the business is seeing growth in areas like, the pizza. It's seeing growth in areas because we also have a distribution channel, right? We have our own distribution channel. I think that's one of the things that has helped us. We are not on any online distribution channel. We have our own distribution channel, so that also helps us. And we are also building software into our business, So we are. I'm not supposed to say it on camera, but we are going to launch our own distribution software for the various campuses, So very soon we are going to also have that as part of the business, and I think that would really help us scale faster, and it will really help us, gain more reach. So that contributes to also the exponential growth that I was talking about, because we have to be a business of the future so that we can, maneuver our way through the tough times. Because Charlie, it's hard doing business in Ghana,
Yeah.
So we need to play smart and, also in the process serve, the best products to our, loyal customers.
At what point did you start making a lot of money from selling pizza, and how did you feel about it? Because some time ago you were telling me you didn't even know you were making so much until the person who makes the boxes for you told you, Mike, are you selling my boxes to someone else?
Yeah.
So at what point did you realize that, and how did you feel about it?
Yeah, so what I realized was that I was so passionate about making the business work that I wasn't really focusing on how much.
Okay.
I wasn't focusing on how much. I was really happy about the fact that the business kept running, and every single day, we had to, we're seeing growth, So
it wasn't about the money?
No, it wasn't about the money.
Okay.
It was about breaking into an industry where it's a bit monopolistic, and it's a bit, the customers are not being treated fairly in terms of product development, in terms of the quality of the products, that exist in that industry. So our focus was trying to, introduce a new product onto an existing market where people know that, okay, this is what we are used to.
Okay.
And this is what we know. But we are a bit disruptive, when we're coming into the market. So we decided to do something new and introduce the people to it, and it worked because, customers want change and they want quality and they want diversity and all of that. So that's what we are doing. That's what we are doing at Spicy Girl Pizza right now, and it's really going to take the market by storm. And I didn't realize it until our box manufacturer was, going through his receipts, and he was like, are you selling our boxes to another vendor? Because he didn't understand, because every week we're turning, or we're flipping like almost 500 boxes. Almost 500
A week?
Yes, a week. So we didn't really understand what was happening until we realized that, okay, now we have to pay attention to this, because this is what we are doing. And then we know that once we focus on it, it's going to work. So that's what we are doing now. We are now focused on giving value to our customers, value for money, and we have some exciting news coming. So I don't want to spoil the fun yet, but yeah.
Sure. There's one thing about entrepreneurs that I've noticed, and it's that they do not always focus. In fact, they never focus on the money.
Yeah.
It's all about making an impact, and the money seems to be
a complementary stuff. Yeah.
Exactly, like some sort of byproduct.
Yeah.
What is the thinking that goes into, what's the thought process? Why is it that they are not paying attention to the money, and how are they able to inspire themselves without the money aspect? Because you look at a lot of Ghanaians who want to become rich and wealthy, young people, and their starting point is the money.
Yeah.
I want to make 1 million by the end of the year, or I want to make 1 million by the time I'm 30 years old.
Yeah.
But they don't really have a roadmap for how they are going to get there. Why is it that it works the other way around for you and for other entrepreneurs and businessmen who are very successful?
I think that since we are in the 21st century, right?
Yeah.
It is imperative for young entrepreneurs to look up to those who have made it, because there's always, you can do great things by example. There are people who have made it so much so that they have like they've given tips, they've shown you all the tricks.
Okay.
So there's nothing new actually, just that some of us are lazy to apply those rules or to test those tricks and test those strategies and see whether they work or not. Once you try one and it doesn't work, try another one. I think that money, if you're approaching entrepreneurship, right,
yeah,
money shouldn't be the focus. Where there's a problem, there's a business. It's a saying that I don't know who said it, but it still rings in my head every single day. Where there's a problem, there's a business. So what you have to do is focus on identifying the problems that exist in your industry and then try and provide solutions. In exchange of the solutions that you are offering, people pay for it. People are going to pay for it.
Yeah.
And that is where the money comes in. If there's no problem, if there's no solution, you're not going to make money as a business, right? So MTN comes to Ghana and sees that, okay, the telecommunications industry needs more of this, more of 4G, more of that, and they go ahead to try and invent and innovate in that, regard. And what they are doing is that they can increase their prices because the services are good for one, and then they are in demand, and then people also rely on them, businesses rely on them, right? So I think that once you identify a problem and you're able to provide a viable solution to that problem, a long-lasting solution, you are going to make a lot of money because people are going to pay for it.
Yeah.
Right? We are surrounded by so many problems, and I think that the next generation of young entrepreneurs should really focus on problem identification instead of focusing on what am I getting, or the result, or the return on investment. It's good to focus on return on investment, but focus on the problem you are solving with your investment. If you're investing your time, your money, your education, you have to focus on the problem you are solving, and that is what's going to bring you the money.
So Mike, what is the most difficult thing about running your own business?
The most challenging aspect of running your own business is the fact that you don't have a schedule.
Okay.
You're working 24 hours. You don't have a stop button. You don't stop when you're tired, you stop when you're done.
Wow.
So yes, you keep going until it's done. You don't stop when you're tired. That's one of the challenges, and some people cannot really get into it because they try it and it doesn't work, and they feel that, nah, this is not for me.
You burn out quickly.
Exactly. You have to train your mind. The thing is that, well, I'm a Christian, and I believe that the battle that you are fighting, it is because you are able to win that battle. That's why you are fighting it. If you cannot win your battles, then the battles are not for you. You are fighting all these challenges, you are going through all these battles because you can win. And it's up to you to come up with a master plan of how to win all your battles. As an entrepreneur, there are so many things that's going to come your way. Government regulations, stress from other competitors, suppliers. If you do your Porter's framework, 5 forces framework, you understand that there are so many forces that fight entrepreneurs, or even a product or a service or a business. So all you have to do is you're working around the clock to make sure that the process doesn't stop, to make sure that you are always ready for any challenge that comes your way, because as an entrepreneur, anything can happen. It's not like you're doing a 9 to 5 where you are given a task that you go and say, okay, you say after 6 I'm done, I'm going home, I'll come and continue tomorrow. No, entrepreneurship, you don't stop when you're tired, you stop when you're done. You get it? Yeah, so that's how it works. That's one of the biggest challenges. The next one I'm going to talk about is the finances aspect. If you're not selling anything, you can't let your business run. So it all boils down to finding a problem, making sure you are providing a solution, a viable solution in terms of products and services. Once you have a viable solution, people will create a need for it, and then your business will sell. And once your business sells, you reinvest back your profits into your business, and it keeps it running, and you expand. That's basically it. So some people might hear me say we are making over $1 million a year, but we are reinvesting all our profits into our business, and that's how we are growing.
What is it that you love most about running your own business? There are challenges, but what are the good sides to running it?
Well, if you build your business on passion, it's always and almost an adventure for you. And that's what I like about running this business, because every day is an adventure. It's like you are on a battlefield. Every day is an adventure. You meet different things, different people, different challenges, and then it challenges you to be able to provide, quick responses to all those challenges. And it helps you build your mind as an entrepreneur. And personally for me, it's fun because it's like you're solving problems that mean a lot to a lot of people. And the food industry or the hospitality industry is going to be here for a long time.
Yes.
People are going to always have the need. People are always going to have the need to eat. But one thing is that people want good food. People want good service. So they just don't want to eat any kind of food. They want food that, give them value for their money, right? So if you're able to do that, then I think that you're in business for life.
In the course of running your business, or when you were starting out, did you take any loans? Did you consider taking loans? If you didn't, how did you get the finances to start? Was it from savings you had made in the course of working for your previous company? How exactly did you hit the ground running?
Yeah, so it was basically savings, right?
Okay.
And I think that one person who has been very instrumental in my life is my fiance. From the beginning, she has been very instrumental, in terms of, because this idea came just out of the blue. So I needed somebody to say, yes, it's going to work. Let's go. Let's make it work. So in terms of, working on the business, right? She has been very instrumental in this, making sure that this is working. So initially we had a plan of going for a loan, but we didn't have any collateral. We didn't have any records. We didn't have anything. So what we decided to do was to focus on using our own finances, like our own savings. I started with my own savings, and because I quit my job, I had saved some amount of money in my bank. So I just had to just take that and then run with it. And because I believe so much in this business, I felt that it was going to work. So I wasn't thinking twice. I think that I wasn't thinking twice. I just had to take the risk, fully accept it fully and run with it, and that's one of the things that really help most businesses, run on, self-finances, because I think once you know that, okay, this is my life savings, I can't fail. It's a one road for me. There's no turning back. It's going to really help you understand the essence of your business. And I think that there's a lot of young people who are also thinking like that, so they can resonate well with what I'm saying and know that once you put your heart to it, it's going to work. Put your heart to it, put your mind to it, and it's going to work. And the universe is going to pull forces towards you. It's like a magnetic field. Once you make up your mind, it's going to pull people who are also like-minded people and are going to help you push the vision, and it's going to work. So that's it for me.
Wow. We hear a lot of these big businessmen telling us that they started their businesses with 1 cedi and 10 pesos and 1 peso. How much did you start with? You said you started with savings. If you're comfortable sharing with us, how much did you start with?
I think that the first purchases I made was when I was testing the prototype. The first purchases I made were amounting to 220 Ghana cedis.
Okay.
Yeah, 220 Ghana cedis. That was what I took to the supermarket and got the first ingredients that I used in starting. So I'll say that, I started with 220 Ghana cedis.
Okay. How do you maintain a good relationship with your workers? Because you're a very young guy, you're 27. You're running this big business that is turning over almost $1 million annually. It's an incredible achievement. But there's a tendency for your workers to look down on you, probably because they feel they may be older than you, or you may just be too young to be running this kind of business. How do you maintain a good relationship with them while at the same time ensuring they do not ride over you because they feel you're a young person?
I think that over the course of the years, I've grown in maturity. I've said to myself that my age doesn't really matter in terms of how mature I am in terms of building a business. And I am somebody who learns a lot. I take inspiration from great people a lot, from the likes of Jeff Bezos, from the likes of Elon Musk, from the likes of Steve Jobs and all of those people, from the likes of even down here in Ghana, Kantanka and all of those, big names in the industry, right?
Yeah.
I think that the age factor comes in when you make it. Nobody cares about how young or how old you are when you are starting. So I believe that I've imbibed that culture into my business. And at Spicy Girl, age doesn't really play a role much. Competency plays a role, maturity plays a role, but age doesn't really play a role. If you're young and you're vibrant, if you're old and you're vibrant, yeah. So in terms of the culture here, the workers, some of them are older, they don't really focus on my age. They actually admire me in terms of the vision, the vision that we are trying to push, because I could also be joining the queue elsewhere looking for a job. And I've decided to do this. So
and create jobs.
Yes, create jobs for people. Right now we have over 20 workers, and 20 workers, and we have about 6 affiliates. So I think that it's more of respect and it's more of admiration than how old is he. So they believe that once we've started like this, and I'm not the kind of leader that would be autocratic. I really involve my employees in everything that we do. In the decision-making process, everybody's involved. The waitresses, the waiters, everybody is involved. The chefs, the administrators, everybody, the delivery people, everybody is involved. So we try and make sure that everybody understands the culture, and then everybody believes in it. And that's how come we are thriving.
Okay, so you mentioned your fiancée and how supportive she had been in starting the business. I'm assuming she's still very supportive.
Yeah.
How is it managing a business and a relationship? Because I'm not in a relationship myself. I haven't ever been in one. But I hear from others that alone is a business on it. You understand?
Yeah.
It's so much work. And looking at all the work that goes into running this, how are you able to combine the two, keep her happy and keep your business also thriving?
Yes, I think that it's a great question, because I've been lucky to find somebody whose love language is building stuff.
Okay.
Like, her love language is getting things done.
Okay.
So in actual sense, we are building a business, but it is also romance in a way, because it's like we want to see our future become something big, right? And the best way to do it is to build together. Sometimes I feel that some people have challenges in terms of balancing their work life or their business life and their relationship life, just because they've not allowed the other partner to be in on what they are doing. If you let them understand what you're doing, they would equally support you, and it will be easier for you to say, okay, I'm doing this on my own. Let's hope it works. If they are standing, if they are a spectator to your business, it's not going to work. They are not going to see themselves in the business or in your life. But once you draw them in and you make them a part of the process, it's like, yo, we are in this together.
Yeah.
So there's nothing like balancing. This is actually what it is. This is actually the relationship. The relationship is building the business together and building a life together. So I don't have any issue in terms of balancing the relationship and balancing the business. It's more like a two-in-one, affair.
I get that.
Yeah.
How do you advertise this business to people? How do you get new customers? I think you mentioned earlier that you created an Instagram handle.
Yeah.
Is that still what you are using, or you have other ways of marketing what you are doing?
So last time I was talking about building a business plan.
Okay.
and I was talking about brand strategy and business strategy.
Okay.
And if you can remember in that talk we had last time, I was talking about the fact that you need to build a comprehensive brand strategy for your business.
Okay.
The business aspect has to do with, you trying to build a structure, trying to build a marketing aspect of it, but you also need to build a brand that people can resonate with. You can have a good product, but if nobody can put themselves in your product, then there's nothing you're selling. You're not going to sell the product because customers, need to understand what you're selling and why you're even selling it in the first place. I told a story of Spicy Girl starting because the industry is male dominated, and focus is on sales, not on the customer. So we are trying to build customer-based brand equity. So we are doing an inside-out approach where we take inferences from the customer. We understand the customer before we understand the product. And understanding the customer gives us the edge to be able to build products that make the customers happy. And that generates word of mouth, because if one customer tries it and it's working for them, they will recommend it to another customer. And that is how come we've not done any TV ad, we've not done anything, any billboards, anything. We are using social media, word of mouth, and then online marketing too as well. So we are able to focus on social media marketing. We are yet to complete our website, which will be launching in a couple of months. We should have launched it like this month, but we want to focus on building an online distribution channel and building an e-commerce platform that would really help. So we are trying to build an online platform where we incorporate our digital marketing strategies or our digital marketing framework, and we are also building an e-commerce platform that will offer value to our customers, that will make placing orders very easy, getting the orders from the counter to the customer's doorstep, tracking the distribution channels, that's the delivery guys. So we are trying to build an infrastructure that is really comprehensive and makes buying and selling from Spicy Girl very easy. And one other thing we are using to also build brand equity is we are focusing on word of mouth, direct marketing. So every customer that walks in here, we treat as a special case. So no two customers are the same. We try and understand what each needs or each specific needs are for every customer, and we try to tailor our products. So we are selling pizza, we are selling, it's like a restaurant, but what we're trying to do here is that when you walk in here, we have a simple database that we take on every single customer. So once you place the order, and we create I don't want to say our winning strategy on camera, but I'm trying to find a way to make you understand how we are building equity, right? So we are trying to keep specialize our service processes, make sure that every customer is different. So if you place an order with Spicy Girl, we have a database for just you. The next time you come, we know exactly what you want.
Okay.
I'm not going to tell you how we do that, but it is something that you would attest to the fact that it's happening. So that is also one thing that we are using, and we are also letting our customers understand the value channel.
So what is your advice to young people who want to start their own businesses? I advocate for young people taking advantage of online opportunities to make money. Obviously this isn't an online opportunity and it requires a lot of work. So what is your advice to young people hoping to take this route and also make about 1 million cedis every single year? What's your advice to them?
My simple advice is understand who you are first.
Okay.
Personally for me, I knew that I came from a background of finance. I came from a background of creativity. Okay, I came of a background of project management, so I understand what I'm doing.
Okay.
I know how to balance the finances, I know how to balance the advertising, that's the marketing part, and I also know how to balance the administration part. So I'm like a 3-in-1 type of entrepreneur. I know, I understand it, but you might not be that kind of person. So what you have to do is to learn, educate yourself on the kind of industry you want to go into. Because if you don't have enough information about where you want to go, it will be a challenge for you to understand the kind of business you are doing. By the time you realize, competition will just break your bones because they understand what you're doing. Okay, so build the expertise. Once you build the expertise, it will be easier for you to understand your brand vision.
Yeah.
And the essence of your brand. Once you do that, you'll be able to understand the structure of the business. Okay, so if you understand the finances, if you understand the brand, and if you understand the structure, it will be easier for you to understand the business. So as a young person coming up, trying to build a business for yourself, don't just jump into product development. Yourself, analyze yourself. What inspires you? The products you are building, does it inspire you? Does it inspire your customers? Is it going to be something that is going to be a going concern? How are people going to accept it? How are you going to even launch the products on the market? What are your go-to market strategies? What are you going to do to make sure that you retain top of mind awareness with your customers? All of these things are things that you have to understand, because I've seen an entrepreneur with a great product but a wrong market. Some people have the best products on the market, but they are advertising to the wrong target audience. So all of these things play a role in you trying to identify or understand the industry. So learn a lot. Educating yourself is one of the key, strategies in trying to be an entrepreneur. You have to educate yourself and learn from the industry. Learn from people who have already been there, people who understand, who have made it. Learn from them. Take inspiration from all of those people. And let the internet be your university all the time. Don't care about the qualifications you have. Let the internet be your university, because if you're trying to build a global brand, you need to learn what other global markets, the things that are happening there, and then know how to adjust yourself. Because if you think small, you can't grow big.
Yeah.
You have to think big and then grow, every step of the way, So we are a global brand, but we have a local mindset. We try to perfect our locality, perfect our zone, make the name here, and then we build on that, and then we take it elsewhere. Okay, so local business, global mindset. That's what I'm trying to say.
Local business,
Yes.
global mindset.
Yes.
I think that is very powerful.